Are you an accomplished woman wondering what's next? You've built a successful career, but you're tired of working for someone else and starting to feel a little invisible. Here's what I want you to know. Everything you have done has prepared you for what's next. Hi, I'm Phyllis Pieri, and I help professional women explore franchise ownership in a very smart, safe way. Welcome to Fierce Females in Franchising, the podcast where I pull back the curtain on one of the smartest, most overlooked paths to business ownership. Here we share real stories from successful women, founders, and franchise owners, so you can see what's possible for your next chapter. If you're ready for more control, more purpose, and a business that supports your life, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. I am so glad you are here, and I'm super excited to introduce Ann Edwards. Hi, Ann. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you today, Phyllis?
Wonderful. So before we get started, I wanted to read Ann's bio, which I know will impress you. So Ann Edwards, a doctor of physical therapy and the founder and CEO of TherAnnu Restorative Spa, a physical therapist turned entrepreneur. Ann has spent her career helping people feel and function at their best. She created TherAnnu to combine therapeutic care and wellness in a spa environment that supports long-term growth and recovery. Today, Ann is focused on expanding the TherAnnu brand through franchising, partnering with entrepreneurs who are passionate about wellness, community impact, and building meaningful businesses. This business operates on a membership model, which creates predictable, reoccurring revenue. Hi, Ann.
Hi.
Very impressive with your background.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate that.
I don't often have the opportunity to interview someone who has done what you've done as far as a profession turn entrepreneur. I love what you're doing. And in today's world, with wellness being at the forefront of everything, I think you're very timely in what you're doing. So let me ask you a couple questions. The first one is, what problem are you solving that traditional spas or wellness centers are missing?
I feel like there's a big gap in healthcare that TherAnnu is bridging. So we've got the traditional physical therapy model where you get hurt, you go, you get set up on a 6 to 8 week program, you get discharged, and then what do you do? So we filled that gap where you can come in and you can get that one-on-one physical therapy. You could come in for therapeutic massage. We can get you better in a similar manner to traditional physical therapy. And then you have a home after that. So you have a place where you can continue to make sure that your inflammation is reduced by using whole body cryotherapy. You can come in for those regular massages to make sure your muscles don't get to the point where they snap again and you end up back
Mhm.
at square one. So we really created a place that can become a good destination for you on a regular basis to maintain your health, not just come when something has broken.
I love that. Coincidentally, yesterday I went to see a physical therapist.
Oh,
This is
great.
true. This is real. And I've lived in Texas now for about 2.5 years. And I had yet to find a place that I could go where I could receive more than just the physical therapy part, like you're talking about. This one has traction and it's got some other things, but I wish you were here because when I lived in California, I went to a wellness center and they had some of the things that you offer. And so I really understand and appreciate the whole comprehensive model of doing more than just PT, because I really do think there's a place for that.
There really is, absolutely. And we've even found that we can work alongside traditional physical therapy, where we have many
Mhm.
of our clients that maybe they do need traditional physical therapy for, let's say, an ACL injury, where they need to do that exercise component, but we're going to get our hands on them. We're going to do the massage, we're going to do dry needling, we're going to give them some of those advanced technologies that maybe they can't get
Mhm.
in traditional physical therapy office.
So tell me, what is dry needling?
Dry needling is amazing. It uses a very tiny needle, similar to an acupuncture needle, that goes into the tense part of a muscle. So we call it a trigger point. And that's what you're going to feel is like those knots that you get in your muscle.
Mhm.
So we go in and the needle instantly releases the tension in that muscle. So instead of having to have the massage therapist spend half an hour working that knot out, you get it out in a few seconds. So then you
Nice.
can go through different areas of the body and just clear those zones out.
Mhm.
The results are just remarkable.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. For those people that suffer with so much of that tension, I bet that is a huge relief for them.
It makes a huge difference.
So let's go back to the beginning because I'd love for people to understand what you're doing. But what made you decide to go from your business to turning it into a franchise? Was there a turning point? Was there somebody that came to you? What made you decide to do this?
It was really just, it was a realization that this model works, simply that, and it was filling that void. We were
Mhm.
having clients come from all over, driving an hour away, 2 hours away, when they couldn't find this type of solution elsewhere. We knew we had something that it worked for clients and it worked for the
Mhm.
owner. It was profitable. So we wanted to expand, and it was really the difference between going out and opening more locations or
Mhm.
starting the franchising opportunity. And I felt like we got out faster and help more people through the franchise
Mhm.
model, because you can scale faster than opening a location here, waiting a year or two, opening a location here. And really, it's about helping people. So we've
Mhm.
found that we've helped so many people just in our one little center. It's just to
Mhm.
magnify that would be remarkable.
I love that. They often say that if there's a problem, somebody will come up with a solution and turn it into a franchise. Hence exactly what you're doing.
That's
So I think that's fantastic. I love that. Why now? What trends made this the right time for you to do TherAnnu?
I really think it just comes together with the restorative technologies that these didn't exist when I started as a physical therapist, and really opened my practice, really just doing dry needling and hands-on physical therapy is how I started about mid-career, when I said
Mhm.
corporate PT was fine and I learned a lot there, but I wanted to do my own thing. And then as I got into that private practice, there all the technologies started to erupt, and they weren't anywhere certainly near where I lived. I'm sure maybe in the larger cities, but whole body cryotherapy was the first thing that we looked into. And I'm a science nerd, so I had to go get into the science, and I had to see what's happening here. Is this sound? Does this work? And I found that it did. We started with that modality.
So, explain to our audience who may not have ever heard of cryotherapy exactly what is that? And is it a big device? Is it real expensive? How does that fold into your spa?
It is. It's our largest machine. It's you step into a chamber and then cold air surrounds you for about 3 minutes. And what it does is it's the cold exposure on the skin is really what is creating the benefit. It's a cold shock. So you're shocking the system, your body gets into a little mini stress mode. And by doing that to the body, it makes it stronger. It makes it flush out all the inflammatory chemicals that are happening, that are arising in the body, and it helps to filter and improve circulation. So it's these little tiny stresses that you put on the body actually
Mhm.
make it stronger in the long run.
Is it similar to you hear people doing the cold plunge? Is it similar to the tub, except yours is in a chamber as opposed to a tub of water?
It's
Same idea?
similar. It's the same idea. The With the cold plunge, the cold does penetrate more deeply into muscle tissue. So that's
Mhm.
where I am concerned about the cold plunges somewhat. That you have to be very careful because you are freezing muscle tissue at that level. For the whole body cryotherapy, it's just air. It only affects the skin itself. So you're getting
Mhm.
that cold reaction
Mhm.
without having to freeze the muscle tissue. So
I love
I
that.
believe that it's safer. Personally, I do not want to do a cold plunge. I think they look
Me either.
horrible. I think I would probably scream and cry. But doing the whole body cryo is a much gentler form of getting this cold shock.
I love that. I think we get things that come into our sphere and people are inclined to want to rush and do some of those things, and they don't really understand the science behind it. And I appreciate you sharing the difference, because I think that makes a difference. And you know what? It's all about communication these days, and really understanding the reasons and the whys behind all of it. And of course, the science. And I love the fact you're a science nerd. Being
Very
in
much.
your industry, that's a very good thing. So tell me about when a client comes to you, what is your best hope for a transformation for them? Because I understand that you have a membership model, so people will be able to come in on a regular basis, which is twofold. It's great for a business because it has residual income that you can count on as a business owner, which franchising loves. But it also is a benefit to the customer because it keeps them taking care of themselves, correct?
Absolutely. So as somebody's coming to us, there's a couple of stories that I can share that probably
Please do.
would show that. First is a teacher came to us and she had migraines for 20 years, where several times a week she couldn't function. So she wouldn't be able to go to work, or if she did, she would be suffering. She came in, we started doing dry needling on some of the neck muscles, work so well for migraines. And we got her to the point where her migraines now almost never occur. And now she comes in for regular, we're doing monthly dry needling just to make sure that we keep everything at bay. She does a monthly massage as well. And then she uses our biomat deep relaxation to help just calm the nervous system and make sure that she keeps her system healthy.
So
And
tell me about
that's been going on
tell
for about 5 years now.
Oh, wow. Tell me about the biomat. What is that?
So the biomat uses infrared that goes through amethyst crystals, and they've got a bunch of other layers in there, but that's the main benefits. And by doing that, you are putting deep heat 6 to 8 inches into the body. So it's driving that infrared heat deep into the body. And then it also creates negative ions. So negative ions are something that you're going to get when you're out in nature. It
Mhm.
calms the body.
Hmm.
We've got all of these positive ions around us right now with all of the technology, our cell phones, our computers. They're creating this like positive ion smog, and the negative ions help to balance that and calm the nervous system.
Oh, very interesting. People wearing, matter of fact, my grandkids do, and my daughter-in-law and son, they wear like a necklace around their neck that is supposed to ward off any of those harmful rays or whatever. What do you call those?
Radiation.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it's different forms of radiation, but I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah. And I have a necklace thing that I wear. I forget half the time, but I've got this thing that covers my house
I
that,
have one too.
do you? Protects you from all of the outside stuff. So I try to stay safe that way. Okay. Tell me another story. I love stories.
Another story would be a young woman who I've been treating for years, off and on when she's had different problems. And she came to me about 6 months ago in tears because her back
Oh.
flared up. She went to the doctor and got an MRI. Like, it was, had to go to the emergency room. It was a whole thing. Showed up on the MRI and went to the orthopedic surgeon. And he said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to lose weight. I'm going to put you on GLP-1s," and dismissed her. So she came to me instead and worked with her only for a few weeks. And we got her out of that flare, and she was fine. It was a muscular condition, and we just had to calm down the muscles using some dry needling. We did some stretching, a little bit of manual therapy within the session, and was able to get her back. And I hadn't seen her for about 6 months. She would come in and do some cryotherapy occasionally. She likes that for reducing inflammation. And she says it gives her a nice energy boost throughout the day. And then she just came back to me because she had another small flare up because of something else that was going on. Worked on that. So we have these relationships that we build with clients within a setting like this, where become their number one resource, because sometimes the medical community fails them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I love that we can be there for them.
Which, speaking of the medical community, How does medical insurance fit into all of this, or does it?
So at TherAnnu, we do not accept insurance, but we
Mhm.
are considered an out of network provider. So we
Okay.
have a lot of our clients come in and they receive the physical therapy services. And then we have a system where we submit it to their insurance and
Mhm.
then they may get reimbursed.
Okay.
So, and about, I would say about 50% of them, we just went through an audit to see are doing pretty well with that they're
Mhm.
getting this, say 40 to 60%.
That's good. I think with the new focus on good health
Mhm.
and them trying to help keep us healthy as opposed to give us a bunch of drugs, I think that really is moving right into where you want it to be to help with your business. So I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So when you started putting this together as a franchise, were there any particular things that the company, and I know the company you use, they're very professional, they do a great job. Were there any parts of that journey that were surprising to you, or something that you looked and went, "Wow, no wonder franchising is such a great way to go. I wish I would have known this when I first started thinking about doing this." And you're going to take all of that and make it easy for the first person coming in to own a franchise.
In terms of like setting up the system, is that what you
Mhm.
mean? I feel like it really honed us in when we started looking at the franchise process that we
Mhm.
had a lot of systems in place. We had different training systems and operations and all kinds of things. And it really helped us fine tune and
Mhm.
make those so much more effective. It's just it's remarkable the difference that I've seen in the last few years of just the ability to manage the staff and
Mhm.
onboard and everything that we've created. And I feel that's the difference between opening your own business and starting
Mhm.
with a franchise is
Yep.
that it took us 5 years to fine tune that. If not, we're always trying to make it better, of course.
Right.
But it took a long time to get to the point where we're at now. And the beauty is we can bring on board a new franchisee and you get to start where we're at now with having
Exactly.
all of that advanced and fine tuned processes in place.
And one of the reasons I love franchising so much, your potential franchisee is going to be able to walk into a proven system.
Mhm.
Obviously, you've put your heart and soul in. And since you're brand new and just starting out, people that are entrepreneurs and they're adventuresome and they're willing to be explorers and try something new, this is
Mhm.
a great opportunity for them because the first franchisees in a system, obviously they have to get a whole bunch of attention because we want to make sure that they're successful. That really lays a good foundation for you. And then share with our audience one of the things I love that you're doing that we talked about the other day is the way you plan to expand, because some franchise companies start their franchise and they do the scattergun approach, and they'll talk to anybody anywhere in the country, and
Mhm.
you've chosen not to do that. And I'd love for you to share with our audience why you decided to go that direction. I'm so grateful that you did. I think it's going to really serve you well, but I would love for you to share your reasons why you did that.
Yeah, really, we were advised from the company that helped us get established as a franchise that it's just, and it resonated completely that keeping things more local helps to improve the brand presence that you start to see TherAnnu's in different parts of the state. And also it keeps it close by to us so that we can pop in if there's an emergency, that we can be there maybe within a few hours to help out. So it just made a lot of sense to keep it within at least a few hours drive from our base in Maryland.
Sure. So we're in the month of March 2026. So if you're listening to this and it's a year from now, that might have changed by now. But at this point, Anne is focusing on basically up the eastern coast. Is that correct? Florida
Yes.
on up?
Mhm, absolutely.
That's what
Mhm.
I thought. And I love that. I think that's really smart. I know when I did a lot of work in California and I would work with startup franchise owners, we would have them focus west of the Mississippi
Mhm.
because it was you could get there quickly and you were able to service them and provide the support that they needed to get launched. So I love that. Good for you. Let's talk about employees, because when somebody is looking at starting a franchise,
Mhm.
one of the things, especially since yours is PT, that might scare people a little bit about, oh my God, I'm not a PT person. And we don't want you to be.
Mhm.
That's the important thing. So, what type of employees do they need to find? And how would they be able to make sure they're getting good employees since they are not going to be physicians like you?
So, who you would need to hire would be a spa manager, would be your key employee, and then a full time front desk person. And then you're going to need 1 to 2, we call them the client service specialists. So, what they do is help out with the things like the biomat and the whole body cryotherapy, help with laundry and broom turnover. So, they're going to be usually just like a minimum wage employee. So they're that and the receptionist are probably the easiest to find and onboard. And then you just need some skilled professionals. So you're going to need to hire 1 physical therapist and 2 to 3 massage therapists.
So, you're going to open the doors probably with one and one massage therapist and one PT? Or would you open with one PT and two massage therapists?
I would do at least 2 massage therapists. That is going to
Okay.
be the most popular and the point of entry, most likely, for a
Okay.
lot of the clients, and a good way to build up the other services. So
Okay.
I would heavily load the massage therapist.
So when somebody has your franchise and they're going out to market, are they marketing as a restorative spa, putting more emphasis to begin with on the spa, on the massage part, with the PT and all of that, enhancing it?
It's restorative wellness, I think probably would be more of the approach. And it's trying to find people who need problems solved. If they've got
Okay.
pain, restriction, they're not getting solutions else, we're going to be their destination.
Okay.
And then those that maybe appreciate more of the natural solutions, that they
Mhm.
don't want to be taking pain medications or having to,
Yep.
maybe they can avoid a surgery or
Mhm.
or things like.
Mhm. Okay. I love. So what does a successful franchise owner look like in your system? Who are you looking for?
So we are looking for really 2 different types of people. I would love to bring in healthcare providers, a physical therapist owner, I think would be fantastic. I think this would be a great opportunity for PTs who maybe are burnt out with the traditional system where they're just being run through the mill and there's insurance headaches and
Mm.
all the other things. I think this would be fantastic opportunity for them, but also somebody who is just an entrepreneur who appreciates this type of wellness. Maybe they've gone to physical therapy before, or they've had some type of transformation with this type of healthcare that they resonate with it.
What would you say to someone who's intrigued but hesitant about investing in a new brand?
It's a great question. In my opinion, going on with a new brand has many advantages. I think, and we touched on this earlier, that you are going to be our number one priority. We are going to nurture you and make sure that you succeed. But
Mhm.
we're very much going to be partners with you coming on right away. Of course, I hope once we get to 10, 20, 30 locations, that is still the case, but you're going to have access to me, to my founding team that have been working with me for the past few years, and they know this business inside and out. We'll be
Mhm.
able to help you so well in this beginning stage.
The other thing that comes to mind is that I'm a new franchise owner and I'm really excited. I've got my wellness spa, my wellness restorative spa, and I go out into the community. Am I going to be like joining the chamber, doing a leads group? What have you found to be the most successful way that you've been able to find new clients?
So, other than like your typical social media and getting out there that way, getting out into the community, we've used different festivals and fairs. We partner sometimes with different businesses and set up a table. Our favorite is to do a spinning wheel where we give away some of those restorative wellness services.
Oh, what
So
a good
they
idea.
are, yeah, so they can spin and maybe they'll win a free sauna session that they can come in and try it
Mhm.
out, get to know us. And that's the best entry that we've seen. It has worked for the past 5 years or more.
Okay, that's fantastic. I think you've answered all of my questions.
Good.
What would you say would be your parting words to anyone who is considering a franchise and help them realize why? your franchise would be the best one for them?
I would say if you're someone who it if it resonates with you to help people, I think this would be the perfect franchise for you. If you're a people person, if you want to get in and change lives, that's what TherAnnu is all about. We're not a franchise that you can be hands off, that you can really just churn the mill and be passive with it. We want someone who's going to be involved and that cares about our vision and cares about helping the community.
Well, that's a great distinction because in today's world, anyone who's been looking at a franchise at all keeps hearing the word semi absentee. And I appreciate the fact that you said you're not looking for someone who's going to hire a manager they're going to put in there and expect that manager to put across the care for the clients and the employees
Mm.
that you, as the owner, will. This has been terrific. I appreciate you spending time with me today. And I applaud what you're doing. And I want to wish you the most success possible. And I hope that we will have a chance to meet soon. I think we might be going to a conference together in June. And I look forward to actually being able to see you face to face other than the Zoom room. Um,
Likewise.
so thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. If something you heard today sparked something in you, don't ignore that. Your next chapter doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. If you're ready to explore what business ownership could look like for you, I invite you to schedule a complimentary franchise fit conversation. We'll look at your goals, your lifestyle, and what kind of businesses could truly support the life you want. You'll find the link below. And remember, your next chapter starts here.